Hey, I just got back from lunch. Did you finish that report yet?
Well, not exactly. Still working on it. I'm not finished just yet. I got a little sidetracked, but I will get them to you first thing this afternoon.
It is first thing this afternoon.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but I mean, I am working on
But
it. I'll have.
what do you mean that the report isn't finished yet?
I'm still in the process of working on it. I've just been a little distracted.
Distracted. Our meeting starts in an hour.
I can have it.
No. What were you doing? Were you listening to another hunting podcast again? I swear, I give the staff in this office the freedom to do whatever they want to do as long as they meet a deadline. That is the first bullet underneath your job description. Pays attention to detail and deadlines. And deadlines. With emphasis and Dude, are you even listening to me right now?
Welcome to episode 148 of the Wait Till Distraction podcast. My name's Austin, and joining me on my porch, Chuck. What's up, buddy?
Not too much, man. What's going on?
Nothing, man. It's a beautiful night for a porch pod.
It sure is. It sure is. We got drinks flowing. I may have over-poured on the vodka.
Uh-oh.
So I apologize ahead of time for that one.
That's okay. You'll be all right.
Not to you, the listeners.
Oh, well, there you go.
But I am doing great, man. How you been?
Good, man. I shot my bow tonight, completed our little weekly challenge for our Patreon group, which is always exciting. I'm very excited about this whole thing we got going on, keeping everybody accountable until season starts. It's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, so kind of explain that real quick. We are running kind of like it's not exactly a one-shot challenge because it is a random shot number at a random distance and a random size target.
Correct.
For 12 weeks leading up to the season. So we're going to run that through the Patreon group. So if you're interested in joining that, the winner each week will try to give like a little prize away if there's like a clear winner. And at the end of it all, we're going to add up the totals and we're going to give away a prize as well.
Yeah, man.
Which is pretty cool. We're going to keep that just within our Patreon group. So if you guys want to do that, go check us out. Join our Patreon and you can join in on all the fun that we're having. And it's actually a really cool little thing. I'm glad that one of our Patreon members actually brought it up.
Yeah.
So
He kind of got the idea a little bit from the Bowhunting League from the one-shot challenge, but we're throwing our own little spin on it. So I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So jump right into this thing because we do have a guest on the line with us tonight.
We do.
You want to introduce Miss Charmaine?
Yeah. How you doing?
Hey guys, I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. I want to hop on real quick and get just a little intro from you, and then we'll get a little bit of business out of the way, and then we'll jump right into it. Is that cool?
Sounds good.
All right. Can you tell me and the listeners who you are, where you're from, what you do, all the fun stuff?
All right. So I am Charmaine Leath. I'm based out of Southwest Colorado. I'm a healthcare financial counselor, photographer, and most importantly, I'm a pro team outdoor athlete. I'm just doing what I love out in the outdoor industry, and here I am.
Awesome. That was a great answer.
Pro team outdoor athlete. I love that. I like the way you worded that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. There's a reason, obviously, we have you on here. But since we've added you into the intro here, we need to, obviously recognize our partners.
Absolutely.
And first and foremost is Skre Gear.
Yep. Skre Gear, one of my favorite partners. Guys, if you haven't heard of them, go check them out on the website. They have sales running all the time. But if something is not on sale, check out our coupon code WDP20. Check it out. 20% off your first purchase.
Absolutely. So Charmaine and I, we actually met at the Total Archery Challenge down at Seven Springs, and she was working at the Skre booth there. So that's why we have her on today. And Charmaine, since you're here, we need you to plug your favorite product from Skre.
Hands down, of course, is the women's hard scrabble gear.
Ooh.
Honestly, I mean, y'all know what the hard scrabble is for men's, most of you. But the women's, it's more form-fitting, durable, lightweight, lifetime warranty. It just fits good. I mean, I've worn camo, of course, like my entire life and never found something that just fit me right. And, of course, it's Skre Gear, and I represent them, and it's absolutely wonderful.
That's a great answer, too. They really make amazing product, and it's nice that they actually have a women's line, too, because most people don't offer that. A lot of women that are getting into the industry, they're wearing hand-me-downs from their boyfriend or their husband, or they get something that just doesn't really fit them. So that's actually really awesome to hear that you love their women's line.
Love. But you know what? At the same time, They only have the Hard Scrabble Summit in the women's gear. So when I need my solids or the Solace color, which is like the brownish kind of camo, I go to the men's line, which is just as awesome. It's just not quite as form-fitting as the women's, but I still love it just as much.
Yeah, I will say that it's a very anatomical, very athletic fit. Even the men's line, I know a lot of women love it too, just because it does fit pretty dang well in all the right places that keep you kind of moving in the right, and I mean, that's what I love about it personally, even from the men's line. But, I haven't tried the women's line yet, Austin. Maybe, you know what? I always tell everybody I have pretty much everything Skre, but I'm lying because I don't have the women's line stuff.
Maybe get some for your wife.
Maybe I have to. You're right.
There you go. Very exciting.
Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome, though. The Hard Scrabble's great. What I like about, the Hard Scrabble, that thing, that suit, top, bottom, vest, can get you through most of it.
Definitely.
I love it. Absolutely.
I layer. So turkey season, I can still wear it. The winter, still can wear it. So, and a lot of people don't want to have a million different pairs of stuff for every single season. Hard Scrabble is good for all of them.
I would totally agree. Pair that with a little bit of merino wool, you're good to go.
Yep.
Ready to rock and roll. And the other part of that too, like obviously it takes you throughout the entire season, but that stuff is comfy, man. You can wear it around the fire. I mean, if you really want to, it's your camouflage, but the nice part about that too is like Charmaine was mentioning, you don't have to pack a million things.
That's true.
If you're traveling, which we might get into some traveling, that's going to happen here for Charmaine later on in the season. We will get into that. But when you travel, you don't have to pack 14 different suits.
That's right.
That's my favorite part too.
Speaking of the comfort factor, I just got to throw this out there. One of my favorite things when it's really cold out and you're going to bed and you want to, snuggle in a little bit. I wear the Wasatch like jammies sometimes, man.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So comfortable. I love it.
Jammies. Oh, man, that brings up a good story that's not topic related, so I'm not going to go into it.
We'll talk about that later.
Oh, man. We do have to also recognize our other partner, which is VIP Archery.
The baddest broadheads in the business, man. They are unbelievable.
Absolutely. Razor sharp. Absolutely razor sharp. Right out the package. You can just blow through animals, rinse them off, put them back together. That's the nice part about those is like literally up one pin and take the top off, and you can just disassemble, get them all real cleaned up, real nice, put them back together, put them through another animal.
It's a beautiful thing, man. 100% made in America, veteran-owned company. Matt Feuderay, man, and Cindy. Shout out to Cindy Feuderay. They are amazing people.
Yeah, she's the best. So there it is. Business is out of the way.
Yes.
All right, Charmaine. It's your time to shine now. So what's funny about the whole thing is I was supposed to come down and help you guys set up that booth. And they had called me and asked me, hey, how far away is it? And I told them, I said, it's not that bad. I may have, bent the truth a little bit because I wanted to go down and do it. But I was like, it's like an hour and a half. I can drive down there, no problem. Like, okay, well, they got 2 people going down. They'll figure it out. And I never got the call. And then was it who was with you, the partner that you were with, that ended up setting it up with the booth behind you or something? Is that how that worked?
The day before I did. So she had to do it by herself, and she rambled some guys around there to help her.
That's a beautiful thing too, man.
Yeah. I thought it was hilarious because all they had to do was call me. I told them I would do it.
Don't worry about it.
They never called me. I felt bad, though. I really did. I felt horrible. I rolled up into there, and I wanted to check out some stuff. And, man, by the time we got there, because we went Saturday, but we didn't give ourselves enough time to get around. So Sunday, we went to the booth, and I was with, our buddy Steve Waskin.
Yep.
And Marty.
Oh, yeah.
We were both there, and we were kind of checking out the Skre booth, and that's when I ran into Charmaine. But it seemed like you guys were pretty well picked over. So how did that event go for Skre, and how'd you guys end up doing on the weekend?
So that was actually our first total archery challenge for Skre Gear. It was like total new to everybody. Like, let's just wing it, see how it goes, if it's good for us. And so we didn't bring as much gear as we should have because we didn't really know what to bring, to be totally honest.
Definitely.
We went to random stuff, and we still killed it. People, it's so funny. So people are like, we see your ads all the time, or we see photos all the time on media. It's so awesome to see y'all here and actually feel your gear now. Mm-hmm. And so people were stoked that we were actually there.
Yeah.
And we did really well, but learned for the other TAC events.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm surprised that they actually brought products. When we worked the booth in Harrisburg at the Great American Outdoor Show, they had every piece there in every size. And basically what they did is they just drop shipped everything. Like you got to try on, they had a changing booth and stuff. And then you basically bought it and they shipped it out that day or the next day straight to your house, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a blessing and a curse going that way. Like a lot of people want it now.
They do.
They want to wear it, or they don't want to order it online and then wait for it.
Right.
But I had a ton of online orders and it was great. But we definitely took a lot more gear to the Montana TAC.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Ones. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun event. It really is. I love it down there, and I was actually really excited to see you guys were down there as well, because I'm glad obviously made that move. They're really pushing to get in front of people, and I mean I was telling you before we hit record here, you know, our buddy Steve, he was the one that once he had his hand on it, finally he got his hands on the stuff, and he was looking at some of the pieces and trying it on. He went home and bought like everything on.
I feel like that's kind of how it goes for a lot of people. Like people are on the fence about it because you can't go to the store and check it out like a lot of other brands. But, you know, once people see it and they kind of see the system and they realize what it is, it clicks with them.
It's game over. Once you get them in that gear, they're buying it.
They're buying it.
Yep.
It's that good. You don't even have to sell it. You just try it on and they know it's good and it fits well.
That's it.
Sells
That's
itself. So I'm actually interested on how you kind of got involved with Skre as well, because you're more fitting than we are, I would say, for the product. I mean, it's made from the West, right? It was built around extreme mountain gear. I mean, that was the whole push from Skre early on, was for exactly, you know, what you do with it. But how did you find Skre and how did you get involved with them?
So funny. Don't hate on this, everybody. But TikTok. Oh my gosh. Stupid TikTok.
I love
Oh,
TikTok.
but
I do too.
it is not my favorite app. But, you know, we all got to do it in the outdoor industry. Media is so important. Anyways, found them on TikTok and loved the way that their gear looked. So went online, looked at reviews, blah, 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 bought their stuff, and I was like, I'm working with them. Whatever it takes, it's going to happen. So really all I did was I applied for their pro team position and really just grew from there.
Okay.
You know, continued to wear their gear, create content, proved myself to all of them, and gained an athlete position with Skre, and now I work with them.
That is awesome. I've actually been told, and I know this comes into your background as well with photography, but you know, one of the main people that I look up to in the industry that does marketing and whatnot, you know who I'm talking about, Austin. He had always told me, you know, the reason he got into photography was because he knew that one day that would lead to the future of where we are today with, you know, social media and promoting product. And I have to believe that your photography and your background and it had to have, you know, helped you along the way as far as promoting some of this stuff. Plus, I mean, you're a badass. You've been doing some pretty cool stuff as well, killing elk and mule deer and all that other stuff. That helps as well, I'm sure.
Just a little bit. That's all the things that I love. But yes, photography and good content for all of the companies is so important these days. So it really was just like a blessing in disguise that I could use my photography skills in the world that I love.
Absolutely. We'll nerd out for a second here. And I mean, I'm not big on cameras. I really don't know much, but what are you running for the people that are listening to this and they might be, you know, interested in doing the same thing? Maybe they just want to take great pictures of outdoors.
So honestly, I run a Nikon, and it's been the camera that I've used for so long that I just know it so well that I don't know if I could ever give it up.
That's funny. That's
Love
what
it.
I have too.
Really?
I just love it.
I've always been told Sony was the master race, so I don't know much about Nikon.
I don't have an amazing Nikon, but I have a D3400. It's a great camera. It's really yeah, it's a good camera.
Charmaine, is he speaking French to you?
Yep, camera world. But you know, it makes a massive difference in the industry. If you want to be like where I am or somebody larger, you have to have good photos.
Yeah.
This is what it is.
So what's the specific model of what you're running, body and lens? What do you have going? I know
I've also got the Nikon D3200, and I've got several different lenses.
Okay.
So it really just depends where I'm at and what I'm doing.
What's your favorite lens for just all around? We'll go all around you.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know what the Oh, now you got me. You got to put me in this.
That's okay.
I'm pushing the limits of my own knowledge here. I know very, very little. That's why I'm trying to learn through you.
I go a little bit. I go pretty standard. I do mostly an 1855.
Okay.
Which is, it's kind of your basic, I don't want to call it a point and shoot lens, but it's kind of like a point and shoot lens essentially. Not a whole lot of zoom to it or anything like that, but you can do, I have some other wide angle lenses and stuff like that and a couple telephoto, but nothing too crazy. I don't really do a whole lot of photography. Like Charmaine does a lot more than I do, but it's fun.
All right.
I'm looking at my camera as we speak because that's going to bother me. But I run a 35 millimeter most of the time. And it's just because I can use it all over the place. I've got a larger one that zooms way further. But when you have something right in front of you and you have to switch out your lens, it just is not convenient.
Yeah,
definitely.
So I go with a smaller lens for most of my stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. That's funny because I'm not kidding. I know nothing about, but I was going to guess 35 millimeter. That's the weird part.
Like
it was in my head.
It was
I don't
sixth
know where
sense, man.
from. Yeah, but I know very little from just hanging out with Booer enough and some of the photography he does. But that's cool. That's cool. I like it. It's something that people need to put more time and effort into, I would say, on the photography side. If you want to, I think you could take any camera and make it really good if you know your camera. You don't need to go all in and buy them expensive or the craziest. Like Charmaine's saying, perfect example. She knows her camera in and out.
Right.
And I think that goes farther than somebody that can just go and spend 10 grand on a camera and, another 5 on a lens and call it a day. They're still not going to take as good of pictures as what you would or Charmaine, as long as you know your camera.
Definitely. Yeah, getting a camera, I mean, use what you have, learn it, and then you can upgrade from there is realistically my point of view on it.
Yeah, and editing is just as important, I feel like. I spend so much time editing my photos as well, and I use Lightroom.
I love Lightroom.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know this.
That's okay. It's just
Obviously, it's an editing software.
it's an editing software.
Right?
Yeah, it's similar to like a Photoshop almost. Yeah.
That's
pretty
cool. No, that's great advice. I mean, honestly, that's great advice. I think someday I might grow up and actually get a camera that's not like a Handycam style where you just one button zoom in and out.
You're good. Buddy. You're good.
Autofocus on. Okay, we're good.
I want to change direction just a little bit.
No, we're good. Yeah.
I know you want to nerd out just a little bit, but I want to do like a little bit. I did a little bit of a deep dive on you on your Instagram, and I noticed you do a lot of fishing. You have some fantastic photos of fish.
I love fishing. If I'm not hunting, I'm fishing, and we fish so much during the summer. And it's like hunting season. It kind of goes away when it gets cold. We do some ice fishing, but we do a ton of summer fishing. It's my jam.
Yeah. Now, are you a fly rod gal, or are you what's your rod and reel combo?
I've got a fly rod. I've got the whole setup and the waders and all that. And honestly, I never use it.
Perfect.
I think it's just like children. Okay, I have a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm not fly fishing with a 4-year-old, pretty much.
I'm right there with you. I took my 3-year-old and my 1-year-old out, and we fished with some Barbie rods, and it was amazing.
Hey, whatever works, right? I mean, my 4-year-old loves to fish. That little girl, if you can see her on my media, loves to fish too. But it ain't going to be no fly fishing.
I'm there with you, man.
I was just making sure before I shit on all the fly fishermen this year that, no, I'm kidding.
It's kind of
it's a running
joke.
Yeah, it's been a running joke on this podcast for years, and it's hilarious. But I don't know. I've always watched like movies and different things where I see the people in the beautiful creeks fly fishing. It just looks very peaceful. That's why I wanted to ask and go into that first. Make sure see what you're doing. But I mean, what's the target? I see you catch a ton of trout, but is it mostly trout fishing that you're targeting, or do you do a little bit of everything?
It's mostly trout fishing out here for me.
Yeah.
There are a few lakes that have like bass, pike, walleye really aren't in my area. Most of it's all trout fishing, rainbow, brookies. We do a ton of creek fishing as well. Spinners, different types of bait, mostly different types of bait.
Yeah,
Definitely. So I'm even just scrolling through right now just to take a quick peek, and you've got some slammers, man. This one right here, it says it's a tiger trout. It kind of looks like a brookie, honestly.
Yeah, so from my understanding, like these fish like are not just like made by themselves. Like I think that they're a man-made like fish, and then they put them in places. Like you don't just go to the lake and find them, because this is the first time I've ever found a tiger trout, and they're super. You don't find them.
Interesting.
Yeah, and you don't quote me on that, everybody. Y'all have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure. Like I'm gonna look it up right now. That
Chuck, fact checker.
You want me to do that? Google?
No, I'm just kidding.
All right, I'm gonna put my phone away then.
oh, a hybrid of a brown trout and a brook trout.
Oh, that's cool. We have both of those in Pennsylvania. Actually, the brook trout is our state fish.
Real?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Come on, man. You're from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I know. Brook trout. I don't know if I've ever caught a brook trout in my life.
You got to fish for them in the mountains.
What?
We
Yeah,
have a
they're
lot
in
of
the
wild browns.
Yeah, we've got browns and rainbows, mostly rainbows.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I miss trout fishing. It's something around here that they kind of screwed it all up a couple years ago. Charmaine, when COVID hit here, they did the weirdest thing in the world. Like normally, Pennsylvania, we are known for like our first day. So first day of trout is like a holiday. I mean, everybody goes up to camp. They go up to the mountains. They flock the tiniest little streams and everything. And then a couple years ago, they took the opening day, and then all of a sudden, they just sent out like a mass email to everybody. It was just like, hey, just kidding. Opening day's not in 2 weeks. It's now. Congratulations. Go fish.
Aw.
They were apparently trying to like disperse the groups of people from like flocking into like creeks and streams and stuff like that. But ever since then, I don't know. I just haven't been able to get out and do it. I mean, it was always, it's that time of year where it's kind of tough for me, for my schedule. Landscaping business is starting to kind of pick up, and it's always like right around the middle of the month, and it's tough, but it's something I miss. It's something we haven't done in a couple years. Usually a big group of us goes up to the camp and has that first day experience. I don't know. I mean, where does the love and passion of fishing for you come from? Is that a family thing? I know you said earlier to us before we hit record, a lot of things come from your dad. He kind of taught you a lot of everything. Is that where your passion for fishing comes from as well?
Yep, absolutely. We did a ton of fishing growing up. I have bits and pieces of memories of hunting, but mainly it was all revolved around fishing.
That's exciting. I know my grandfather got me into just about everything with hunting and fishing, and that was one of the things that I enjoyed more, like kind of growing up, was fishing, going out and doing that. And then obviously I got into hunting too, but those are the big memories that I can remember, going out and fishing.
Yeah, I think also with us, I mean, you weren't allowed to hunt until you were 12 years old. But I remember getting drug all over the trout streams when I was 5, 6, 7, and the whole way up. We were fishing way before we were allowed to hunt. Mm-hmm. There never used to be a youth program like that where you could do a mentored hunt. So I think that's why fishing was kind of like one of those things you're saying, Austin. It's from a young age, it's instilled in you.
Definitely. I would agree with that.
Yeah, we're big in our traditions and stuff like that around here. It's a very heavily traditional type of state as far as hunting and fishing goes. Did you have anything like that growing up? Like every year this was our tradition. We were going to go do this, or we were going to go fish here.
Oh, traditions. Well, in my later years, we did. I don't remember a whole lot from my childhood, unfortunately. I just don't. But every year we go to like the Creed and Lake City, Colorado area, and we fish. And they've got a cool miners competition. So that's been a family jam every single year. And we seriously look forward to it. It's so cool.
That is pretty cool. I can dig that. Very cool. Very cool. Well, let's transition this a little bit out of fishing. This is a hunting podcast. Let's get into the hunting.
So far, we've talked about photography and fishing, and I apologize. That is totally my fault. But yeah, definitely hunting. It is getting exciting. I know it's that time of year. People are getting trail cameras out, food plots, whatever. I mean, I'm not sure a lot of that might relate to Colorado, but you just said basically, and I know Colorado got rushed with snow this year. I mean, parts of Colorado got absolutely dumped on, and you're just now getting kind of out of that. So what is the exciting things going on right now in your prep?
So, to like go back on that topic, during spring turkey season, I feel like I saw more game, like deer and elk, than I have seen in years. So they talk about like the destruction of all the animals from the winter, but it was literally insane. I have not seen this many elk in Colorado in the spring, maybe my whole life. So I kind of question that just a little bit. I don't know.
Definitely. That's pretty wild. Do you guys, I mean, in years past, I mean, obviously they had quite a winter this year, but in years past, have you guys had like a large winter kill or anything like that?
I mean, not that I'm aware of. And I didn't really realize like how much elk I saw during the spring until probably the hundreds that I saw this spring.
Oh, wow. Yeah. You were getting into them.
It literally driving for turkey. So I'm not trying to find them. They were there.
So basically what you're saying is you were on Onyx just pinning everything.
They're not even my hunting areas
Oh,
either.
no.
Not for elk anyways. We hunt turkey somewhere different than we do for elk.
Okay. Yeah, so you're like me during turkey season. When I drive by all the deer, I'm just like, stupid deer, get out of here. Where are the turkeys at?
Yeah, it was a salty season for turkey for me.
Yeah, that's tough. But, that's all right. Turkey's over. We're looking forward to the next seasons coming up. You guys have mule deers you can hunt. You got freaking elk you can hunt. I'm actually kind of interested. I've never hunted any of these species before. So, for me, this is all pretty exciting stuff. And you know what? Before we get into that, there's actually more coming up. You mentioned in August you have a pretty exciting trip. So why don't you kind of break down what your first trip of the year is looking like?
Oh, man. Dad and I are headed out to South Africa at the end of August to hunt. Dream hunt, y'all. We can't even believe it's happening, really.
That is incredible. Africa hit my radar last year, big time. What are you guys targeting? What is some of the species that you're after? I know there's 4 million, but what is the big one? I guess, what are you targeting? And then we'll go into what is that one? The white buffalo. What is the one?
What's the great white buffalo?
Great white buffalo, the one you're after.
Guys, I don't know if there's one animal that I'm going out there for this animal. I'm stoked. I'm just stoked to be going out there, and Dad too. So they've got a list of animals for us to hunt while we're there, and we're just kind of going with the flow. This is something totally different for us. Never been there before, never hunted these type of animals. I think we're just grateful for this experience and anything that we can hunt out there.
I kind of like that go with the flow mentality of something totally foreign to anything you've ever done before. I feel like I would kind of share the same sentiment, and I would just, go for the experience, and then, whatever comes of it, comes of it.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're going off of. We're really going just for the experience and everything. I wouldn't say that we had a specific animal in mind. It looks like, so we have a list of animals like impala, the wildebeest, wow. I can't even talk. Kudu, I'm all excited. Bushbuck. So no, we're stoked to get out there with this family. This company that reached out to us is sending us out there, and we're just pumped.
Shout them out. Throw them out there. Why not?
So we are going with the Big Game Africa hunting safari. And from my understanding, it's a dad and a son, and they've got a few other hunters underneath them that guide, but it's mainly them. And which is kind of cool to me. My dad and I are going out there, and his dad and his son are going to be guiding us. And we've just heard through the grapevine through this process that this is an amazing family, and we are absolutely going to love this hunt and being with them, which just makes it even that more priceless to us, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Africa is one of those once in a lifetime type of trips. And, I also agree. I think it's really neat that you guys are just going to go out there, really enjoy the moment, really take in the moment, and whatever, you get the opportunity at, and you're not really specifically on anything, I think what's funny is most people go out there and they have a list and they're like, okay, I want to shoot this, 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 and this. And then they get out there and something else walks out in front of them. Well, that looks cool. I'm going to shoot that instead. That's just how it works out. But I don't know. I think it'd be awesome just to see all the wildlife. From what I hear, Africa's it's all about all the different. That's so neat.
It is so neat. And, we're the type of family in general, whether it's South Africa or even here, that we're going out there for the experience. If we harvest something or we get something down, that's just a bonus to everything else,
Yeah, that makes total sense. I mean, it's a good approach. That way, no matter what, you guys definitely aren't going to be let down. That's the great part, right? I mean, you have no real expectations. You're just going out to enjoy the trip itself and the moment. And I think that it definitely will go a lot farther. And I'll bet you're more successful because you're not going to be stressing. You're not going to be kind of nervous that, oh, what if I don't kill anything and I spent all this money and went all this way? You're just going to go out. Yeah. You're going to try to harvest some animals and make the best of it. I think that's really cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So are they going to lodge you up and everything else then? Everything as far as the hunt goes, you just show up and they take care of you, or how's that working?
Honestly, pretty much.
Yeah.
They pick us at the airport. It's about 3 hours. What they call is a farm. Like the ranch, they call it a farm.
Okay.
And that's basically where we stay for the hunt. They accommodate us, food, the hunt, the guiding, everything. We'll also be doing some fishing while we're there.
Ooh.
So that's kind of exciting. I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, I asked the guy, I was like, well, what do y'all fish out there?
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds similar, like, I think he said like bass and catfish and stuff like that. So I'm like, sweet.
Cool.
Charmaine's like, I'm going to fish for a crocodile.
I'll watch them.
Yeah. I was just wondering if you were going to be the next person we see on the front page of the news or a magazine with you behind like a giraffe or a rhino or something. The next, what was that lion's name? That guy?
Cecil the lion.
Cecil.
That was such a strange situation.
Oh my goodness. It is kind of weird though. I mean, you're kind of, it's weird in a way that as a female hunter, you get like a different kind of rap for, being, I'm going off example of like, what was it, Kendall Jones, who got just absolutely shredded after.
They drug her, man.
Yeah, after killing some amazing, amazing creatures in Africa and taking some phenomenal photos. Like, does that worry you at all? I mean, is that in the back of your mind, or is that just not something you even care about whatsoever?
It really has not bothered me. Like, I do not have any worry about that whatsoever. I mean, she got like death threats and stuff, so I don't understand the way people look at it. But I do feel like in today's society, depending on the type of animal you kill, you will get some threat from people. Yeah. So I tried to be a little smarter in what we chose to harvest. Mm-hmm. And, I really don't go out there and kill a giraffe. Right. I mean, it's just not on my list, really. But, like, I want to kill something that we can take back and they're going to feed us while we're there.
Definitely. Definitely. I feel like there's a big stigma behind Africa in general. I mean, there's a stigma behind hunting in general, but Africa has that very special place, and a lot of the anti's hearts that just like, you went to Africa and shot like a majestic beast.
It's because they're zoo animals. Yeah, to us here, they're zoo animals.
Charismatic megafauna, dude.
Exactly what you just said. No, you're right. I know exactly what you mean. I mean, 100%. Like, people, they see something that is cute and cuddly at the zoo, and they don't realize that, Charmaine and her dad are going to go over there and feed families.
Oh, definitely.
Like, that's what the reality of Africa is. That's why I like it so much. I mean, I'm legitimately looking into Africa for like maybe the next 3 to 5 years.
Let's be honest. How cool would it be to be behind a giant bull kudu?
Oh my God.
That'd be my number one. God. I'm just saying.
The kudu?
Yeah. Big one.
Yeah. I think that's number one on our list too.
Yeah, definitely. They're so cool looking. I mean, regardless of whether you get a shoulder mount or I would do a Euro. I'm a Euro guy myself, but
really,
a Euro mount of a kudu.
I'm a Euro girl too.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
See, I'm more of I think I would like a sable, the Prince of Africa.
The big
big giant swooping back.
That's pretty sweet.
That would be cool.
That's cool.
Kudus are pretty awesome too, by the way. Even like the impalas and some of the ones that out there, they're like those are shoot as many as you can. Those are cool too.
They are. They're sweet. They're little, but they're cool, man.
Africa's so and they eat well. You guys are going to be eating good.
I would want to eat everything.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. You're going to be eating very well while you're out there.
Oh man, I'm so stoked. I can't wait for like the people that live there to make it for us.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Put that little bit of a foreign twist to it. A little foreign cuisine. Yeah. Yep.
Charmaine, do you get into cooking? Are you the chef of the household?
I am the only chef in the household.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I mean, my husband, he smokes some food, like some barbecue, really well, and basically barbecue. But yep, I'm the main gig here.
Okay, so my kind of point behind that, are you going to be the kind of person that's just like, bring me whatever? Or are you going to be the kind of person that kind of wants to get in there and maybe, just kind of watch them and maybe bring back some recipes with you? Or how you feeling about that?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm definitely going to watch. And, I'm all about the experience too. Like, well, how did they make that? What did they put in there? When we were in Belize earlier, I don't even know what year we were in, last year. The way they made their food there, I came home and made it here and was just like blown. So I think it's also about the experience of what they're making you. So you know me, I will be right up in there.
That's awesome. That's kind of the answer I was looking for there. Perfect.
You're a big culinary guy, Austin.
I'm the chef of this household.
You are the chef.
Oh man, that's fun. That's fun.
Awesome. No, I'm excited for you. I think that's going to be a great trip, a great way to kick off your year. But then you're heading back, and it's going to be September before you know it. What's the first species you're chasing?
Well, I didn't draw for a whole lot this year, unfortunately.
Ew, that's tough.
Man, it's so tough. But I'll continue to try to get like a leftover tag here in Colorado. And, the only thing that I'm coming back to hunt is grouse. And honestly, I'm freaking stoked about it. Grouse is like one of my favorite wild game animals.
Excellent
Delicious,
table fare
guys.
too, yeah.
Oh man, it's our favorite to like cook around camp and stuff too. So I'll come back and we'll hunt grouse. We've got like an antelope hunt, and I'm trying to think a deer muzzleloader. So we'll just kick into season after that, like deer, elk, turkey, and throughout the whole family. Like I don't just go on my hunt, I go on my husband's, I go on my dad's girlfriend. So it'll be rolling through there.
That's awesome. So just out of curiosity, you said you didn't really do very well in the draw this year. How's kind of that leftover tag situation work for residents out there? Do you think you have a good shot of getting something that you're interested in, or is that kind of just, around here, our leftover tags go really quick?
Yeah. Shot in the dark, honestly. They release tags every like Tuesday or something, and you look at the list, and then you got to be on it at I don't even know what the real time is, but like Thursday, 9:00, and you're literally clicking buttons on the screen to try to get a leftover tag. So some people do, some people don't. I mean, I'm going to try it because I really want a deer tag, but
yeah,
definitely.
It is what it is.
That is such a bummer. Like, just to think that you could potentially not chase a certain game species in your own state because you didn't get a draw. Like, that blows my mind.
A lot of states are like that.
I know. That's just wild to think about, especially as a resident. Like, I understand the non-resident part, but as a resident, I would think go hunt whatever you wanted. But apparently it's not like that.
Yeah.
It's totally different world here, Charmaine. Like, for us, we just buy a license, and whatever season's open, we can go hunt that animal. There's not really, other than our elk. I will say our elk, there is a draw for that, and it's, a once in a absolute, maybe a once in a lifetime draw.
It's like winning the redneck lottery.
You're winning the lottery, and it's getting better odds, but you're literally winning the lottery if you draw an elk tag. So I guess in that way, I could really.
Do you guys put in for that elk?
Oh, every year. I have so many points built up. I have the hope to eventually draw, but that, like we said, I mean, it's just our tag number. So we have a really good herd of elk here in Pennsylvania. Super sustainable numbers. They keep increasing our tag numbers every year, so that's hopeful. But the biggest thing about Pennsylvania is if you do draw that tag and you're lucky enough to draw a bull tag, you have the opportunity to shoot a world-class elk. Like we have enormous elk here, 400 class inch elk. Yep. I mean, just absolutely enormous.
That's what I've heard. So I hope y'all get it someday. That'd be super awesome. And I'm actually going out to Missouri for the first time ever to hunt whitetail this year.
Really? You have whitetails in Colorado though, too, don't you?
I mean, not where I live.
Okay, well.
Yeah, I was going to say there are, but they're not. Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's whitetail in Colorado somewhere.
I've seen whitetail in Colorado. That's what I was kind of. I might have been in a different part of the state.
Yeah,
though,
definitely not.
Definitely, but
that part. But
tell me about this trip, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Let's get into it. You got to be excited. I mean, whitetails are our bread and butter. This is the Whitetail Distraction Podcast. I mean, give us all the nitty gritty on that.
Yeah, first timer over here. Well, we are either my dad or my husband will come with me. We're going to go to Missouri. So, funny story. We met these guys in Colorado hunting elk. They go up to our hunting area every single year from Missouri. It's this guy and his uncle, I believe, and we met them. And so every year we can expect them during second season in our hunting area, and they come to the campfire, BS, whatever. Well, they invited us to come out to Missouri, and we put it off last year, and this year we're actually going to go. And so we're headed out after our second season with them here in Colorado out to Missouri to hunt whitetail on their property. So this is the first time for us. So he's like, yeah, you can probably kill a buck and some doe. And I'm like, what? You can kill more than one?
Oh, yeah.
That's not real.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's exciting. That's very exciting.
What time of year will that be? Is that like late October, or what time are you going out there?
So with all of our hunts here, like we barely are able to squeeze it in. So we are going like the last weekend of their rifle season, which is like right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
like the
that's-
weekend before.
Yep, late November. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because usually their rifle season comes in like right at mid-November, like around the 15th usually, which is pretty cool because Missouri's a neat state in the fact that you can go and plan like a week-long trip, and you can get your tag and hunt them in archery, and you can kill a buck, and then you can if it turns from archery to rifle season, if you time it up right, you can go buy another tag and shoot another buck with your rifle.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, so Missouri's cool like that. I mean, you can only get one per weapon, but you can get 2 total bucks if you do it that way. You just have to pay the extra. I think it's like $225 or whatever it is for the gun tag, and you can kill one. I know a friend of mine, his buddy goes out there every year, and that's how they plan their trip. They do the full week, and they'll do 3 or 4, probably 4 days of archery hunting, and then 3 or 4 days of rifle hunting, and he kills 2 giant bucks. That's
beautiful.
awesome. Pretty neat. Missouri's a good state. I think you're really going to enjoy it. I mean, whitetail hunting, that's kind of be exciting, but what is your style of hunting? Are you more of a, run and gun, always moving whenever you're hunting out west? Spot and stalk, the typical?
Spot and stalk for sure. It's really about doing your homework too, though. And I feel like that's maybe for everybody, but for elk, it's super important. So like we put up cams. We're going to be starting to put up cams. So we're going to basically watch areas that we know that they're in, which is where I killed my last bull, which is like a water hole that I had been watching, but I had to wait 5 days for them to actually show up again. So it's like, it's like you're scouting while you're hunting. You know what I mean? So yes, we're always moving, but there are times where you're stalking as well. There are times that you're sitting for a few hours and hoping that they do cross like they have been on your cams. So it's really a mixture, honestly.
Definitely. Well, whitetail's going to throw you for a little bit of a loop.
Yeah.
It is a patience game. But it can be
I've
very
heard.
exciting, especially in gun season. It can get so exciting very quickly.
I can only imagine. It's going to get wild, especially if that's about the tail end of their rut. That'll be like rut going into post rut. Mm-hmm. You should see some really fun activity if you're in the right place in Missouri. No reason you guys shouldn't have one heck of an experience, but it seems like you have a little bit of experience with that kind of sit and wait over a water hole or something like that. That's more or less what deer hunting's pretty much about, sit in a good funnel or sit in your bedding and sit there all day and wait and hope you get to experience that 2 or 3 minutes of excitement for the 8 hours you sat there.
Oh my gosh, is it that bad? Well,
No,
All right. It's not always that bad.
no, especially during gun season. It should be pretty exciting.
Yeah.
You should see some stuff, which you could.
That time of year, you should be able to see quite a ways. You should be able to at least, be in it, I would hope.
Definitely. Do you have any expectations going into that hunt? I mean, what would be your ideal scenario?
Honestly, just to harvest. We're like a fill the freezer kind of family.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, we really didn't get a whole lot of meat. And so I've never had whitetail. My husband has. And so I'm stoked to get several deer and fill the freezer seriously. If I get a big old whitetail, that's even a bigger bonus than going out there. My only expectation is to do my best to fill our freezer.
That's a beautiful answer.
Yeah.
Slam some does.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Absolutely.
everybody loves to kill a big buck, but if you're looking for table fare, honestly, shoot some does. That's the best part about it. You'll be so excited to shoot a doe too. I'm telling you.
And I'm cool with that. If I would like to get a doe or two, I'm not sure how many you can get out there, but if I can harvest a beautiful whitetail and put it on my wall, then more power to the whole trip,
Very cool.
I'm pretty sure. Now, it might be an archery thing. When I was researching Missouri, I don't want to say it but I'm pretty sure you can kill a lot of them. But gun might be a little different. I'm not positive. Gun, you might be limited. I think archery, you can pile them up. That you can definitely kill multiple deer, and I think you guys will have no problem doing that. That'll be a lot of fun. But deer are so gamey. You should just send them our way. You should kill a bunch and then just ship them to Pennsylvania, right, Austin? We'll take care of those stinky, nasty deer for you. You can, don't worry about those.
I'm certain that they're better than our mule deer.
No, they're good. I love deer meat.
Tasting.
Yeah, we fill our freezers. I mean, we definitely fill our freezers around here. I shot 4 or 5 doe last year, so it's what we do. I mean, that's the fun part of it. But that is cool. Late November. So you said you're just barely fitting it in. What do you got after that then? If you're kind of just squeezing a whitetail hunting.
So really, it's what we have planned before that.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we've got my dad's girlfriend's hunting muzzleloader deer in New Mexico.
Ooh.
And then we hunt elk and deer and grouse and turkey all in Colorado. And then let's see, Dad has a hunt in New Mexico for elk as well. And then we literally leave to Missouri the day after his hunt ends in New Mexico.
Wow.
Oh, you got a busy
So
season.
I'm like, we better harvest. We are basically hunting super, super hard for like 3 weeks, maybe 4. So, and then it'll super slow down after that. It'll still be like grouse season for a little while, but that's it. Then we just go into ice fishing.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's exciting too.
The nice part about that is too, though, you have a range of different species in different places of the country. You won't get burned out. I mean, you'll maybe the driving, or are you going to be flying or driving?
To which one, in Colorado or Missouri?
So whenever you're bouncing around like down in New Mexico and then back up to Missouri, are you going to be driving?
Well, New Mexico is, I would say the most for driving would be a couple hours. So we actually have a family cabin in Chama, New Mexico.
Okay.
Which is probably 3 hours from where I live right now. So when my dad and his girlfriend hunt down there, we'll stay at the cabin and hunt out of the cabin, basically. You still have to drive a little ways out of the cabin. But there's that. And then Missouri, we'll probably fly down there and then rent a car so that we can bring everything back.
That's a good tactic.
That's a good idea. I like that. So you'll drive back with the meat, coolers, and that
Yep.
kind of stuff. Okay.
Very cool.
Heck yeah, that's a good idea.
Not bad.
Especially when you bounce around that quick. I mean, you're going, bang, bang, bang from spot to spot. If you had to add driving into there, you'd be losing, a lot of time for hunting.
Yeah, we'll definitely fly because it's like 16 or 17 hours from here to Missouri, maybe even a little further. And we want to try to harvest as much as possible. And I don't really know how that works doing it on a plane. That just sounds super complicated.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to fly back with much. So the driving, that's definitely your better bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd have to probably just ship everything that gets sent.
That's going to be very expensive.
Yeah, so you're better off just getting the vehicle and then returning it back in Colorado.
Definitely.
Good tactic.
Yep.
There you go. People out there, take notes. I mean, that's an awesome way to get a bunch of hunts in and still get your meat home.
Yeah.
Really cool.
I like it. Well, Charmaine, we are getting closer there on time, but one thing that we like to do with all of our guests, I'm putting you on the spot just a little bit, but I know you can dig deep back in your brain there. What is your all-time favorite hunting story?
Ooh. Okay. Here we go. So my first bull elk in Colorado, we were all out camping and we had been scouting this area like crazy. And I go out opening morning to this pond that I had been watching. And the video is on my Instagram, y'all. 19 cow elk come down to this water hole. And the very last one and the only bull in the entire herd is a 6x6. And he barely turns and I take a shot. And it's literally the sun had just came up. I have never harvested any dang thing within the first few days. So run back to the camper, I'm 2 miles in. I'm with my dad. He recorded it. I can't even believe he got the footy. And I'm like banging on the camper door and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I just killed a 6x6. I'm like crying and everything. And everyone's like, no way. So we load up the girls. My stepdaughter's there too. So we're literally packing them in with our packs and quarter it up and bring it back. And that story landed in Bugle magazine of Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation.
That is impressive.
I tried to put it all together.
That's awesome. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
That was your first bull elk, you said?
Really memories of a life right there.
Yeah.
That's one I'm going to go and watch later. I gotta.
Yeah, you said it was on your Instagram?
Yeah, there's a couple. Actually, I think Muley Maniacs, which is one of the companies that I represent. Yeah. So they just posted a reel. We did like the time lapse or whatever of us quartering it up. And you can see like my dad, my husband, myself, and the 2 girls in it. And we're quartering it up the whole time. But there is a shot in there. I need to pin it back to my profile so people can see it better. You seeing all the cows come down to this water hole, and I take the shot and everything. And the funny thing is, and if you listen to just like the black noise, I'm crying. I'm like, oh my gosh, he fell. And we're like totally tripping out because this is my first elk and he's there. I'll have to go find it and pin it on my profile so y'all can see it.
That's awesome. That is really cool. Yeah, definitely do that. I think everybody would like to.
I just geeked out for a second.
I love it.
Good. That's the best feeling though too. I mean, it really shows the raw emotion of it too. You're not just out there, killing just for sport. I mean, it's that emotion comes out in everything. I can remember my first deer. I mean, I was shaking like a leaf. And after that, I mean, it was just I was on the radio just I shot a deer. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Oh, that's great. I think I love that we grew up in the radio era.
Yeah, there were no
you
cell
didn't have
phones.
cell phones. You had a radio, and yet it turned way down. In case anything happened, you could still hear somebody else. I remember that radio. God, I just shot one. I think I just shot one. That was like the most exciting thing in the world. For little 12-year-old, 13-year-old me. I love that stuff. I'm glad you brought that up, Austin. That's great.
That's funny.
But speaking of social media, Charmaine, why don't you go ahead and plug your social media, let everyone else know where they can find you.
So I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. It's just my full name, Charmaine Leath, and you can find me on any of those platforms.
Perfect.
Very cool. Very
Easy
cool.
enough. Well,
Easy.
Well, thank you again for coming on and talking a little bit of Skre, a little bit of everything tonight. We covered it all tonight. I mean, we were all over the place, but I thought it was an awesome episode, and I can't thank you enough. I'm glad we finally got this one recorded, and nothing else to say. Thank you. That's all I got. I mean, did we miss anything over this whole thing? Anything you want to cover? Anything you want last minute? We have a little bit of time.
No, I mean, we told some awesome stories, some good memories. It was solid session.
Excellent.
Perfect. Thank you so much for coming on, Charmaine.
Yeah, thanks, guys.